All right, so manifesting miracles, a mini miracle course to align your life and alchemize. So as we briefly talked about in the beginning, when we're talking about manifestation, we're talking about miracles. Some of you already have those things that you want to manifest on deck in your mind, written out. You have a vision for it, but you're attempting to try and cultivate that into the physical form. And maybe you've tried one thing or another, and for whatever reason, it's just not clicking. And what's interesting at the same time as we have this conversation of the things we want to consciously create, see, and feel in our lives, we also have to take into consideration that every part of our lives is actually a form of manifestation. Us being here is a form of manifestation, right? Us being here is a miracle, right? So in all aspects of our lives, when we begin to acknowledge that every little part is a beautiful miracle and a manifesting miracle in and of itself, we begin to open ourselves up to a different perspective as, wow, somebody, and I'm looking at my trash can right now, somebody had this thought and developed a trash can, right? And now there's different sizes, and now it manifested into a physical form, right? So how do we get to point A to point B? We're going to talk about that tonight. So what the fuck is manifestation and how the fuck do I do it, right? Like, we've all attempted to try and manifest something very, 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 very specific. And then there's some things that we want in our lives and they end up showing up for us and like right in front of our noses, right? So there's two different forms of manifestation, which we're going to get to later. There's opportunities and there's actual manifestations. So another example on a personal note, and I'm sure each and every one of you have, an example of each of them. I remember looking at a black Toyota 4Runner some chick pulled in at the Whole Foods, and I was like, damn, that's a badass car. I want that car, right? So it took, I don't know how many months, I think it was maybe 6 months, and I ended up going to the dealership, and I saw one, a used one on the used car lot. I was like, I want that car. All right, well, there's logistics, right? There's finances that we have to take into play, all these different variables, right? But it happened. Right? So the opportunity presented itself, and I had the decision to either take it, work with it, figure out how I can make it happen to make it happen. Other forms of manifestation. I remember one morning, I don't know what book it was or what I was thinking about, or what I was reading at that time, but somebody said, try and manifest 1 cup of coffee. And I remember that morning I woke up, I was like, I'm going to manifest myself a free cup of coffee. Went through the Starbucks drive-through, somebody in front of me paid for my coffee. And I was like, oh my God, I did it, right? So we have these different forms of manifestation. And again, each of us probably have some form of these happenings happen in our lives that we can relate to. Now, manifestation is defined as a symptom or sign of alignment. Think about all the things that you've come across, whether it's synchronicities, whether it's, repeating numbers, angel numbers. Think of all the things that have happened in your life, maybe today or over the course of your life, that have kind of showed you, okay, maybe this is what I need to do. Example I gave earlier, Mari mentioned that she wanted a group where she can have like-minded people gather and have a collective, right? Okay, I was thinking about it. That was confirmation for me. So instead of allowing ourselves to see these happenings and see these kind of breadcrumbs in our lives as like, whatever, we have to be aware, we have to be observant, and we have to be awake to the fact that the universe can talk to us in so many different ways. And that is a form of manifestation, right? It is a form of manifestation. It's also defined as an event, action, or object that clearly shows or embodies something, especially a theory or an abstract idea. So again, this is another one of those concepts. Like, you think about something or you think about somebody and then they call you, or you think about somebody and they text you. Those kinds of connections are a form of the universe telling you and inviting you that you have the opportunity and the capability to manifest, right? Sometimes it's instantaneous or exact, and sometimes it takes time. Why? Because we're not officially energetically ready. So what we're going through today is how to get you energetically aligned with what you want to manifest, okay? So now we're going to talk about miracles. So I remember my mom, I grew up in a Christian household, and miracles were like the word. So just how I currently use manifest, miracles was like my mom's word, and Jazzy knows this for sure. right? So she was a woman of God, and miracles, 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 right? So this is defined as a surprising and welcome event that is not explicable by natural scientific laws and is therefore considered to be the work of a divine agency. All right, so now let's go back to the examples of manifestation. Very, very similar, right? The synchronicities, the happenings, this inner sense of knowing. So those are in and of itself also considered to be miracles. So manifesting miracles is the ability to combine and marry two parts of the same, right? So a miracle is something, let's say whatever you want to manifest, you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm not, if that would be a miracle if that happened. That would be a miracle if that happened, right? So that's a part of manifestation, whereas we define and categorize manifestation as like something that we more oftentimes than not, when we think about manifestation, most people think about the tangible things. I want to manifest this man. I want to manifest this car. I want to manifest this house. I want to manifest this income, right? Whereas miracles take on a different flavor as, okay, I want to manifest this, let's say $600,000 a year income. And if I do that, it's a miracle. Okay. So kind of understanding that they're both very similar, but energetically they're defined differently in society. Now, the biggest thing that we're going to talk about in the beginning, before we get into the meat and potatoes of like how this new quantum, what I like to call this quantum leap manifestation style, is the law of attraction. And I'm sure many of you have heard and know of the law of attraction. I remember in 2006, I was like, oh my gosh, The Secret. I was obsessed. I watched it and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to make a freaking vision board. It's going to come true. I'm going to think myself into creating something. And maybe some of those things came into being, but let's be honest, they're not telling you the whole truth. Right? So it's flawed in the way that everyone thinks that you just have to think of the things. It's not just thinking the things, right? It's allowing what you think about to be tangible to your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind grabs that intent, right? Because obviously what you want to manifest is an intent, and begins to start working towards getting, the wheels churning to create a solution to attain. Right? So when we look at how this universal law went viral, and, it was, it was really, really hot for a while, and then it kind of fell off and then it came back. But essentially, this was like a very, very viral trend that had like vision boards and all that jazz. And, as quickly as it appeared, I feel like it disappeared. I don't know about you, but what we really want to like hone in on this law of attraction aspect is that we want to know exactly how we can have, be, and do, and how we can receive the goods that we want and allow our goals to come into fruition with intention, right? That's essentially what we want. And that's what it lacks, because it doesn't tell you the energetic side of things, because everything is energy and communication with other forms of energy, right? So if, let's say your intent is to make $600,000 a year, do you match that vibration right now? Probably not. Well, how do we get there? How do we bring our vibration up to that frequency so we are in alignment, so like does in fact attract like, right? So when we're working through things tonight, and as we go through the meditations, keep that in mind. We want to elevate our frequency and our energy to what we want to attain. And we can use this as an example. Like, let's say you want to, manifest a partner. Okay, well, what are the qualities your partner has? Do you also have them, right? Can you match that? Can you match that frequency? Can you match that energy? All right. So we want to know how and why. Okay. How do you make it all work, and why does it work? So we are going to get into the recipe, so to speak, or the code to making this happen. Now, the law of attraction is defined as the law of attraction is a philosophy suggesting that positive thoughts bring positive results into a person's life, while negative thoughts bring negative outcomes. It is based on the belief that thoughts are a form of energy, and that positive energy attracts success in all areas of life, including health, finances, and relationships. Now, we know that this is true to an extent, but this goes deeper because your subconscious mind is running 90% of your life. Look around you. This is your subconscious mind getting opportunities and creating them for you. Think about all of the thoughts that you're somewhat even conscious of. Very few, right? And we have like thousands and I think it's like 50,000 thoughts a day. So what's actually running the show is the things that are on the back burner of your mind, whether that be self-worth conversations, whether that be what you think you're capable of doing, your skills, what you're worthy of receiving, all of these different things. So when we want to manifest something, but we don't see them showing up in our lives, it's an opportunity for us to look in within ourselves and say, how is this happening? How come it's not working? Right? Instead of pointing the finger at God, the universe, or source, we have to check in with ourselves and say, am I really aligned with this? Do I have belief systems that are wrapped around the idea that I can't attain it, or it's not possible for me? Because if that exists, it's never going to come into fruition. So we have to break down the barriers and break down the walls, which we are going to do tonight. And you are going to get a taste of how this actually feels when you are truly in alignment vibrationally with what you desire. Okay. Now, what's really fascinating too is we have to talk about past, present, and future. So past, present, and future are all happening simultaneously. And some of you are like, you're fucking crazy, and that's okay. But they're all happening simultaneously. And here's why. So you've already gone through your past, right? But you carry some of that into the present moment. That present moment is kind of rubbing up against your present moment and your future, right? So even though you say you left the past in the past and that doesn't affect you, that doesn't bother me, blah, 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 whatever scenario your ego and your conscious mind begin to tell you, there's a bigger call to action here, right? Because as much as you say that doesn't affect you, see how you act in certain situations and see if you can pay attention to the tendencies and see if you react the same way every single time, right? Because that's a habit, and that's a habit that was created and curated by a past experience, right? So when where the future influences the present and the present influences the past. And you're like, wait, how does the present influence the past? Oh, okay. So here's a really powerful point to make and drive home. Okay. And I'm going to press it pretty hard. Your past, okay, is influenced by the present moment. How? Because we can either allow ourselves to be conscious of our actions, our thought processes, and our emotions in the now, and not worry about the past at all. When we're in the present moment energetically, and when we're fully present, and recently I've been working with the mantras, I am in the receptive mode. I relax in the receptive mode. I am ready to receive. I am refreshed. I am refilled. And when you say those words, it literally brings you back to center. And when you work and you function from that center point, from that deep presence, that is when your slate is clear. And that is when you throw the stone in your lake to create ripple effects in your past and your future, because you're changing the course of action, right? You're being aware and conscious of the course of action, because when you're fully present, you're not thinking about the past. You're not worried about the future. You're energetically present and attempting to elevate the positive momentum energetically in your being without any thought processes. You just are. You're whole. And for those of us who do yoga, you can think of this as like the savasana like state, right? It's like that like my roles don't matter, where I am doesn't matter, my body don't matter. Like I'm just here. Like I'm a being, I'm a spiritual being. This is it. All right. Now, the past is based on a memory of what has already occurred, and the future is based on the anticipation of what will occur. Boom. Right. So if you had any circumstance that, let's say, for instance, we're just going to use the money thing and just kind of play that throughout, just because I know money, everyone can use more money, right? It just makes life a little bit easier. So let's say your income, $600,000 a year. Let's say you were making that amount of money at one point, and now you're not. You lost your job and you're not making that. Because of that experience, you could do one of two things. You could see it as an opportunity and a course correction from the universe to say, get present, get centered. I'm bringing you to a different space, right? Or you could take with you, oh my God, I lost my job. I'm never going to be able to make that amount of money again. Right. And if you feel that, right, it's not so much that you have the thought, right? Obviously the thought can happen, but when that thought is linked to a past experience, when that thought is linked to an emotion, it's charged, and it's a momentum that, for lack of a better word, it's a contrast. I like using contrast instead of positive and negative, but like it's a contrast of what you desire fully, right? And we can harp on that. Oh my gosh, I'm never going to make this kind of money. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? What kind of job? Blah, 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 blah. You could be caught up in that momentum, but what you should be doing is charge the momentum of when you were making $600,000 a year. What did it feel like? What did it look like? How did you act? What energy was around you? And by finding presence through meditation and activating that within that present moment, you are elevating your frequency and your momentum to that $600,000 a year. And an opportunity will present itself, whether it be through an opportunity that somebody gives you or a direct manifestation of some sort. Okay. And I've heard stories that so many people are like, oh my God, I lost my job and I was worried about the money. And then they ended up having pensions and all these different money from the company that they ended up getting checks in the mail from the company that they didn't work for anymore. And it's amazing how it works. It's amazing. I remember when my dad passed away and I was a single mom, and like, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do for money? Like, how's this all going to work? I ended up getting like 2 or 3 years down the road, like checks in the mail when I was worried about money from my father's passing, from different accounts, from different, things that he invested in. And I was like, oh my God, I wanted financial support, and I received the financial support in ways that I had no idea were possible. When I was focused on, I'm only going to get my money from this job, you're blocking the opportunity for the universe to be like, it doesn't just come from your job. Right? It doesn't just come from your job. It can come from any source. So when we open ourselves up and we relax into the receptive mode, that I like to call it, the ability to receive, we're not closing off the opportunities that could potentially present themselves to us in ways for us to make that business happen, make that money happen, all of that, different bits and pieces, but it allows us to have a more expansive way of energetically being present, and also giving us the opportunity to open our mind and open up the beauty and the miracles and the manifestation to happen. Right? Myself included in this, when I was like starting to manifest, I'm like, I want to make X amount of dollars doing yoga. And I was like, wait, after a while, years went by, and that was like what I was thinking. And I was like, doesn't just have to be yoga, right? Like, spirit, help me to be open to receive in the way that you want to give me, right? It's like saying, I'm only focusing on this one track mind, instead of saying, money can be given to you through people. People are a form of source, okay? And if that form of source can be provided to you in any way, shape, or form, okay? So the present moment and total conscious awareness is the point at which we are between thoughts, void of thoughts of past and future, and totally aware of the present. All right. So Nikola Tesla, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So we already kind of touched upon this a little bit. And we talked about the energy and the frequency and the vibration, but we also have to talk about our way to be receptive and our ability to be receptive and to be open. Okay. So when we're going through this, and we're going to touch on the law of attraction because it is a universal law, but rather the true secret is the discovery of the combination, right? The formula to activate the principles and the laws, and allowing us to really see the true power of manifestation. It's not just the fact that it manifests. There's a combination that needs to happen. It's a recipe, so to speak, that will bring things that you desire and people and circumstances and opportunity into your life, because you are now aligned with it energetically. All right. So an example that I found here, which I really love this example, is the true secret of water, for example, is not the molecule of hydrogen and oxygen themselves. The true secret is the combination of them, right? So if water was just one molecule off, it wouldn't be water, right? So it's like the combination and the recipe to create. So that's what we're going to be touching on. All right. Now, when we go through this, there are 4 main principles to this, and we're going to go through this a little bit here. So there is attraction. So hold on, let me find my notes here. Because I've been doing this too, so I'm like looking for all of this. All right, so there is attract. So this is based on the hypothesis that like always attracts like, which we've already discussed. So accomplishing this is through programming the subconscious mind. Now, I am still learning. I am still growing. I will never come up here and teach you guys and say I'm the end all be all. What my way is like the only way. I am constantly doing the inner work. It is never, ever, ever done. Okay. I go to hypnosis. I do Psych K with Andy. Like this is my process. Why? Because I know how important the subconscious mind is. And unless you go there and unless you work with the subconscious mind, you're really not making moves or waves in the life in the direction that you ultimately want them. All right. So this is the ability to this is your control center. So think of your subconscious mind as like the mothership or like the chip that makes your computer work. So the workings, you can't see the inner workings of your computer, right? You can't see it, but whatever it's doing under there is making all this happen, right? So that's kind of how you can connect to with your subconscious mind. And you are energetically transmitting, just like a computer, these energetically charged frequencies in your energetic field, not only within you, but because they're generated within you, it expresses itself outward, right? So there's something happening, and I can't tell you exactly what it is in my computer that's allowing not only for my PowerPoints to present themselves, but for all of your faces to present themselves, right? There is a method of action in there that's happening. So when we are receiving or attracting in our lives, you are essentially attracting from within into your 3D reality. Okay. This is opportunities. This is ideas, people, places, things, conditions, and circumstances. Okay. And then you take action to manifest. Right? You take action to allow yourself to kind of formulate that 3D happening in some way, shape, or form. And this is the new life. This is like you 2.0. All right. Now, the next thing is export. So we're talking about this in a form of a computer just because it's easier to relate to. And we are essentially the most amazing computer ever created, like natural computer, and animals are as well. So by allowing ourselves to kind of use this analogy with computers, it makes things a little bit easier. And it's easy for your mind and your subconscious mind to acknowledge because it's not personal. Okay, so that's why what we're doing tonight is really interesting, because I'm not telling you you're going to be functioning in a computer. So there's like this disconnect with yourself. Even though you're working with yourself, there's a disconnect. So there's a method to the madness, but that's why this is all happening the way that it is. All right. So export. So this is based on the hypothesis that your 3D reality is a simulation, right? Here we go. It's a simulation. Why is it a simulation? Well, you're co-creating your reality with every single thought process, right? So this is your computer, okay? And there is an intelligence, there's a consciousness located within you, but also working outside of you, okay? And this outside simulation is, for lack of a better word, controlling the programs within your simulation, okay? And that might be a little bit difficult to kind of wrap around, but at the control center in the operating system as pure consciousness and pure awareness and pure source energy, or whatever you want to call it, like the field or the vortex, I've seen it like infinite intelligence, whatever you want to define it as, that is your definition, and use it. Okay. So it's interchangeable. You change the trajectory of your 3D reality by rewriting and reprogramming. Okay. So this is your script. This is your movie. right? Right here, right now, you're going to take this information and you have a choice. You could say, fuck that shit. She's crazy. I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Or what do I have to lose? Let me just try it for a couple of weeks. Let me just see what happens. Let me just open myself up to other opportunities. Oh, let me open myself up to a different way of thinking. Okay. So when we see this, this is like, again, similar to a simulation, but you are the outside intelligence and the consciousness. So in essence, you are, with your subconscious mind, programming the external reality that you see around you. Okay. And it's really hard to swallow that, right? For some of us, we're like, fuck, I made this happen. Damn, I'm responsible for all of this. And the answer is yes. Obviously, there's circumstances that happen within your life that are completely out of your control, right? It has nothing to do with you. It's, another person, another circumstance, right? But at the same time, the way in which we choose to get that or process that happening or that situation or that person is on us, right? And they've now come out with studies saying that our memory is almost, I think it's like 85% faulty. What we remember it wrong. Our brains are not reliable or as reliable as we think they are. Okay. So even the mental memories that we have and the thought processes that we have that we think are true, and we hold on to these grudges or this energy or this emotion from past events, it may not have ever really panned out that way, or it never really was that way. So being open to that possibility, so you can shift your reality, so you can shift what you see in your 3D reality. Okay. All right. So you control the programs within your own simulation. And this is within your vortex. And this is, again, the 2.0 version of you. And this is your ability to export back into your 3D reality. Okay, the new programming, the new script, the new movie, all of that jazz. All right, shift. So shift is the third technique. And this is based on the hypothesis that there are infinite parallel universes existing within every timeline reality for your life in every point. So what does this mean? There's a really cool movie. It's called A New Earth. Highly suggest it. It's really powerful. And it talks about parallel realities. And what is a parallel reality? Is there another Earth out there? Maybe, we don't know, but we do know that there's multiple galaxies out there. Okay. So when we talk about parallel universes, we are talking about the ability to know that there are multiple options, right, within one. So what does that mean? Okay, so you're given a decision. How many ways can you go about that decision, right? That one decision is one parallel reality, right? So you're at the center. That's one extension of the possibility. Here's another extension of the possibility. Here's another extension of the possibility. All of this, right, is potentially a parallel universe that could carry itself out, right? It would unfold completely different depending on that decision. But how do we make that decision? Well, if we base that decision on just logical mind, we're not going to be happy over time. If we base that decision of heart, okay, how does this make me feel? How does this decision make me feel? I feel really excited. I feel charged. I feel energized. What about this decision? I don't know. I really don't like it. It doesn't make me feel good. I feel heavy. Okay, going to each of these decisions and checking in with how you feel. Then with going with the decision that makes you feel the best, now bringing in the logic. Well, what are the logistics? Okay. And going through the motions and finding a balance between the head and the heart in making a decision. Okay. So when you are at the control center of your operating system, okay, pure consciousness, pure awareness in your vortex, in your fields, your infinite intelligence, you allow yourself to change the trajectory of your 3D reality as you shift, right? So think about a sphere. If you look, and I love using the analogy of a crystal ball. If you look in a crystal ball in one direction, like this way, you're going to see a warped, reality on the other side. If you tilt it a little bit this way, it's another one. You tilt it a little bit this way, it's another one. So how are you able to shift your reality? By being conscious of your awareness, right? That's the key. That's the ticket. So the higher level parallel dimensional reality, Infinite parallel realities exist with every decision and outcome you could experience, okay? Good decisions lead to higher level of outcomes, right? Is that what you want? Of course, right? And those are dimensions that we can shift into, we can pivot towards, right? And the higher level choices create higher level frequencies, right? And higher level outcomes. So the probability of you making the decision for that exciting, highly charged, energized happening, the probability of you going towards that and more of that unfolding for you is extremely high. Why? Because you're vibrationally in that vortex to attract more of that, right? Going back to what we said in the beginning, like attracts like. Here we go. So if you make a decision that makes you feel like, bah, humbug, do you really think you're going to be able to attract other opportunities, people, and circumstances? That free cup of coffee? Maybe not. Maybe you do, but maybe you don't, because you want to always choose the higher thought, choose the higher frequency, choose the higher vibration, and choose the vibration you want to continue to move towards. If you want to continue feeling good, if you want to continue feeling joy, if you want to manifest everything in your life, keep the momentum in that direction. If you don't, try and get ahead of the thought that is pulling you in that other contrast reality, right? And that thought, try and get ahead of the thought. If you can like be aware, right? Because if you're present, you're aware. You can be in that presence and get ahead of the thought. Oh, I really want to quit my job, but I don't know how I'm going to make money. Well, you just almost within what you're saying, stomped the possibility of that happening. Instead of saying that, maybe say, I would love to do blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and be financially supported. Show me how this can happen. Give me the right people, give me the right circumstances, give me the right opportunities. And then what do? You do more and you add more of that high frequency vibration of what you want to pull into your career. Same goes with money. I remember for a really long time, I was like, oh, I want to get in the frequency of money. I would go to like the really expensive stores and just walk around and try on clothes. Why? Because I want to be in that frequency. I want to know what it feels like. I got to put myself there energetically, right? And money is not a bad thing. Everything in life is abundant. You take one little grain of grass and you look at it, look around you and look at how many little grains of grass create your whole entire yard. Nature is abundant. You are a blossoming of nature and you are abundant in all forms. Own it, thrive in it, empower yourself by it, okay? So this is one possibility why individuals have gone to the vortex with tumors, being blind, disease, and they come out tumor free. You're like, wait, what? Yeah, these are miracles, right? Like these are manifesting miracles, right? Like how the hell does this happen? How does somebody do that, right? Well, because they put themselves in that parallel universe where they don't have the tumor energetically, right? So whatever it is you're experiencing in the physical form, see if you could shift and pivot a little bit and imagine yourself in the best possible outcome energetically. Put yourself there vibrationally as much as you can and see what happens for you. See how it all changes, okay? And these miracles have taken place, whether it be instantaneously in real time, over time, because these individuals have this inner sense of knowing that they can shift their reality from the current situation that they're experiencing. So this could be, with anything. Like the example is, health, but like this is within anything. What do you think is possible? Put yourself there, okay? And these parallel realities contain all the same factors of reality as previously timelined reality, with the exception of a healthy body, a new healthy body, right? So it's saying, I am energetically putting myself in this reality and I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, and I'm abundant. I don't have this tumor. What am I doing if I didn't have this tumor? This is the thing that has to happen and unfold for you. And it can take a little bit, right? So this isn't just like end all be all, like this is what you need to do, fly by it, do it one time, it's going to happen. It's like going to the gym and working your muscles. There's a spiritual manifesting miracle muscle within you, and you have to meet it every single day. You can't come to it when you want to. You have to say, okay, this is my dedication. I want my life to change. I want to see the shifts in my life. I want to see this in my life, and dedicate yourself, dedicate your time so this can happen for you. Because the more that you put yourself there and the more that you do the exercises that we're about to talk about, the more you'll be able to see. Like it's amazing how many people like want something, but they don't want to put the work in to get it. Think about how many people want to be millionaires. Pretty much everyone, right? But nobody wants to put the work in to do it, right? Nobody wants to do the vibrational work to do it. So that's where we're at, okay? Now, the next one, reconfigure, okay? So future impacts the present and the present impacts the past. So this is a very new way to think of things, and I know that. So stay open-minded, and like I said, you might need to, listen to this again, but based on the hypothesis that the future impacts the present and the present impacts the past. So most of you are familiar, if you're with me, you know about the fifth dimension. So the vortex, or the fifth dimension, is you functioning optimally. All your pistons are firing. You are in alignment with every dimension of your reality, okay? And this is simultaneous. Therefore, the past, present, and the future are happening together and impacting one another without moving backwards or forwards, because time is essentially linear. I say this every single time I do tarot readings. I'm like, you may not experience whatever I'm saying right now because time is linear, but come back to it, revisit it, right? Revisit it. And that's the key. Continue to revisit what it is that you want, right? Because over time, you're not only programming your subconscious mind to be infused with the intentions and the manifestations, but you're teaching your subconscious mind to start looking for solutions to that desire, or to figure out how to make this happen for you. Okay. So, okay. So in the concept of cause and effect, in which effect precedes its cause in time. And so a later event affects an earlier one. So I'm going to say that again. So this is the concept of cause and effect, right? In which an effect precedes its cause in time. And so later event affects the earlier one. So we talked about this on how like the past can influence the present, right? But the present also influences the past, because you, in your worth, in your mentality of this, I don't have this tumor, right? You are almost creating ripples effect in your memory and in what you expect, so to speak. You're shifting what you expect, that doesn't even matter. That's not there anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. So when it doesn't exist, then there's an opportunity to recreate, to shift, okay, to reconfigure, so to speak. At the control center in the operating system, the field, the vortex, infinite intelligence, source energy, you reconfigure the trajectory of your 3D reality by changing the present from the future, and the past from the present, which is in turn modifying the reality of what is in the moment, okay? The future changes the present, and the present changes the past, all recreating a new 3D reality and new life, you 2.0, okay? So this is the four techniques. All right, now we're going to go into the framework. So when we're looking at the framework is very, very important too, because this is, you can see the last one, pineal gland. All right, so the framework is essentially the parts that need to come together, so to speak, and worked with and come into alignment in order to create. All right. So there is consciousness. So we all know that consciousness is essentially pure consciousness, big energies, right? But consciousness is the absolute present moment in total conscious awareness, right? So we're not just talking about consciousness, which a lot of us in the yoga community and a lot of us in the spiritual community, we think of consciousness as something outside of ourselves. And also we know it works through us, but like we really energetically like, oh, consciousness, right? It like a God factor, right? The God particle, so to speak. But really, consciousness is the God factor working through you only in the present moment, right? Because otherwise you're functioning from past experiences, or you're making decisions based upon what you think it's going to bring you in the future, right? So first things first, consciousness. Second is brain. So this is the processing center. This is your mothership. This is the motherboard, right? And there's two sub technologies, right? So this is your conscious and your subconscious mind. So when we're working with the brain, we also have to understand that this is essentially a Google database of everything we've ever experienced, maybe past lives and all these different, awarenesses that happen within our lives. But this is our filing cabinet system of experiences. And whether you're conscious of it or not, you are almost taking that file, like let's say dog comes out. Your brain is taking out that file of dog and going through all the circumstances you've had with that dog, right? Yoga comes out. Okay, your brain's like, yoga? Okay, what is associated with yoga? So we have to understand that our brain is a filing system. So when we know it's a filing system, again, I'm making this very like out of body experience and very technical because you disassociate a little bit, which is what we want. So when you do that, you're able to look at those files, right? Wealth. What do I have about wealth? Okay, what about this? And assessing in the present moment with that awareness, what resides in the categories that you ultimately want to create for yourself, okay? And recognizing the past is in the past, right? You could think shit over and over again, but it doesn't change it, right? It doesn't change it. When you catch yourself going back, only go back for the ability to progress, right? To learn from, and then come back to the present moment and ask yourself what you want to generate. Because if you mentally bring yourself back there, you're generating that old energy that you're trying to move away from. So getting ahead of the thoughts. All right, so subconscious. This is our thought pattern programming and the vibrational frequency transmission. So you could think of your subconscious mind almost like a radio station. What radio are you tuned into? Is it just static? Is it heavy metal? Is it positivity? Is it classical music? Like, what is your frequency turned into, right? And how are you feeling, right? Because think about how you feel when you hear heavy metal. I mean, for me, I'm like, ugh, right? Or when I'm listening to dance music, I'm like, yeah, I want to dance. Like I'm in a good mood. Or if something brings me back to nostalgia, I'm like, oh man, let me put on my rollerblades. I want to, play this 90s song. What is that song bringing to your emotions, right? Tune into that, be aware of that, right? And the best way to do this is your emotions are a very powerful indicator of your thoughts. And that's how you check in. If you check into your emotions and you're feeling some type of way, your thoughts are not, you may not be conscious of the thoughts, but your thoughts are in contrast, right? So take a moment or two, center yourself in the present moment and recharge your energy in some way, shape, or form. For me, sometimes it is putting on a good song. For me, sometimes it's doing yoga. For me, sometimes it's, listening to a podcast, doing something that shifts your energy and having the resources to do so, because that is a huge part of your toolkit. Because in the beginning of this work, in this quantum leap way of manifesting miracles, it can take some time because that old way is going to pull you there for a little while. But the more you add in what you do want energetically, whether it be through emotions, thought processes, vibration, song, however you got to do it, and everyone's individualistic, right? Try a couple different things. Maybe there's one song that like really charges you up, use that. I know for me, that is the thing. Music is my thing, because if it makes me move, it makes me feel good, because when I'm moving that stagnant energy that might be giving me that heaviness out of my body. Okay. So head of the thought, once again, heart, emotion and feeling, vibrational frequency, and that coherence, the vibrational frequency coherence. So your heart, they've come up with studies that your heart actually vibrationally extends out beyond your body, even more than your thought processes, right? So what does that mean? Well, that means that your emotions are so much more charged and powerful to create, right? To attract what you want to attract. Have you ever noticed like some days that you have like a shitty day and it's just like one shitty thing after the next shitty thing after the next shitty thing? And you're just like, oh my God. Well, that's what it is. It's that momentum, right? It's that momentum. And guess what? The biggest driving factor, more than likely, is your emotions, right? When that emotion is powerful enough, like let's say it's like, ugh, then another happens. And I swear for me, it happens like within seconds. It's like, shit, I stubbed my toe. Crap, I spilled my water. Like it's like back to back because it's like a domino effect. So when you're there, time out. Hit the pause button on life for a second, go to the bathroom, sit your ass on the toilet, put your hands on your heart, take a big old deep breath and pray to God that doesn't stink in there and let it go and give yourself that opportunity to be like, okay, and we're going to go through the exercise tonight. So it'll be a little bit easier for you to know what I'm talking about, but know that what you feel is way more powerful than what you think. And that's why this is a really potent ingredient in this recipe that we're talking about. All right, your pineal gland. So this is the portal to the infinite. This is our direct interdimensional access site. So the pineal gland is a gland that rests in the middle of the brain, and it almost looks like a little tiny pine cone because it has these little hairs on it. And if you haven't watched Rewired by Joe Dispenza, I highly suggest that you do because he talks about the pineal gland very, very immensely. Okay. And he too talks about how people have shifted their lives by activating some portion of this. If not, I think maybe he does discuss every part that's in here. And it is a powerful tool. And this gets activated by focusing and using breath work, right? Because there are crystals in you. You are a beautiful crystal. There are crystals around the pineal gland. And what happens with diamonds under pressure, they create this beautiful interdimensional, colorful experience, right? So you are that. You are nature expressing itself in human form. So when we're working with the pineal gland, my personal favorites when I first started out was listening to Kundalini yoga is really great, but if you're not ready for Kundalini spiritually, don't do it because I did it too quickly and my body was like, my mothership was like seized out because it elevated itself a lot faster than my body was ready to do. But Kundalini yoga, introductory Kundalini yoga, and continue to grow and advance in that. Also, I listen to binaural beats that open the pineal gland. So what binaural beats are, it's music, right? Because I love music. So music that uses the frequencies to activate your pineal gland, and it uses both ears. So you have to wear headphones in order to really have that experience, and it activates it. Also the breath retention, like holding the breath creates pressure, and that pressure activates the pineal gland. And that is a really beautiful way to start your meditations because that is the portal to all things and to all dimensions. And I'll give you an example, on like personal example. When I started doing this work and this practice, I would have these like really vivid visions, and it wasn't like I wasn't asleep at all. I was conscious, but I was having these various different visions of myself, of other people, of my future, the possibilities. And I was like floored because I had this experience. And when you open yourself up and give yourself the opportunity to receive in this capacity, and you're willing to receive, right? Because there's a difference between like, okay, I'm ready, and like really being ready. You are going to be handed what you've dreamed of and more, and it will feel miraculous. It will feel out of this world, right? And unfortunately, mainstream does not go here, right? They don't want you to go here, because if people went here, you wouldn't need their pharmaceuticals, and you wouldn't listen to their news, and you wouldn't be caught up in, the chaos, right? Because you would understand how the world really works, that you're rooted in yourself. So as we're going through this, yes, we're talking about manifestation, and yes, we're talking about miracles and how to make that happen. But on a bigger scale, we're also talking about you connecting to yourself at a deep core level. So the work here tonight is going to be twofold. All right. So here we go. So we manifest by the 4 quantum codes, right? So we went through that. All right. So that is the attract, that is the export, that is the shift, and the reconfigure. All right. And we manifest by the use of the 5 inner dimensions. Okay, so we just talked about that. That's consciousness, that's brain, that's subconscious, that's heart, and that's pineal gland. Okay, and to put it lightly, we are constantly manifesting, right? And like we mentioned earlier, we've seen this in certain ways, right? We think about a person and they call us, right? That is a form of manifestation. This is constantly happening to us and for us. But what we got to do is redo the damn thing in order to really begin to see what we desire in our lives in a tangible form. All right, so this is the manifesting merging miracle, and I put a butterfly there because this is going to be transformational for you. This is going to be taking who you are now and infusing it with a different reconfiguration, right? Because literally caterpillars turn to goo before they turn into butterflies. Goo, like poo-poo, right? And then they turn into these beautiful butterflies, right? So that is what we are going to be working with tonight. So you are at the center here. This is you're connected to your personal vortex, right? This is the master manipulator of energy, because you understand, right, how this all works. You understand the parts, you understand the recipe. It's now practicing bringing that recipe together and continuing to practice bringing that recipe together to really begin to see things happen. And the biggest thing that I will have as a disclaimer, work on your subconscious mind, however that is and whatever that interprets for you. If you start working on your subconscious mind, you are going to see shifts happen so quickly that you are just going to be floored. Okay. And I know Lisa has done a lot of like subconscious work, but truly it really is a powerful part of this process. So don't ignore it. Okay. Don't ignore it. Now, your inner reality, this is your thoughts, your belief systems, your systematical way of thinking, your imprints that was created by your circumstances, your upbringing, school, society, all of that jazz. Now, your outer reality is the evolution, the progression, and the expansion of your technology. Okay. So, and also technology. So think about how, I know that some people think that we've devolved, and to some extent, I do think that we've devolved, but in the grander, scale, think about how technology has advanced, and think about how much more conscious, how big the conscious community has expanded. Like they correlate, right? I meet people all the time. Oh, you do yoga? Oh, like, and I don't know if it's my frequency that I attract these people into my life, but it truly feels like more people are open and receptive to these types of topics than they were maybe 5 years ago, right? But think about where we are with technology. We're very much advanced. So they kind of go hand in hand. The external begins to reflect the internal, right? So we can do the same thing as long as we know how to do it and charge it to send out that impulse or send out that frequency to literally put all the pieces together to see it come into fruition into our lives. All right, so module 2, let's fucking go. Enough of me gabbing, right? All right, so vortex access, right? AKA the motherboard. Activate your 4 quantum codes, okay? And use your 5 inner dimensions. And then you manifest it into your tactile reality. And you're like, okay, Shelly, so let's get the recipe. Tell me how much of each one we need. All right, let's go. So if you are not in a comfortable seat, I suggest that you find it. if you need a blanket, if you need a pillow, if you need anything, or if you want to turn off the computer, turn off the lights in your house, do what you need to do to give yourself an opportunity to shut out the outside world, because we are going in for the rest of this session. If you need to go to the bathroom, I will wait for you. If you need to get a drink of water, go for it. Take what you need. All right, once you're ready, just give yourself an opportunity to just land where you are. Maybe any movements, whether it's wiggling the fingers or the toes, rolling out the ankles and the wrists, whatever it is that you need to do in order to settle yourself into the moment, and do your very best to just find that stillness, okay? First, want to say a little prayer. Spirit, thank you for this time. Thank you for this opportunity to be here, to be your vessel, to share the knowledge and the wisdom that is truly within each and every one of us to create the reality that we desire. I ask that you continue to use me, that you allow me to use the proper words, terminology, analogies within this meditation to really invoke the truth within each and every one here. I ask that a deeper truth be revealed to each individual. I ask that an understanding deep within their being awaken, that their potential begins to expand, the opportunities begin to expand with this practice just after one time, that they may see your glory and your truth and your frequency happening right before their eyes. Gently begin to bring your awareness to the natural rise and fall of your breath without manipulating it just yet, but just giving yourself the opportunity to feel.
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more, just from this app on my phone. And
Noticing the depth, the texture, the quality of your breath. And welcoming in what desires to be revealed to you tonight. Maybe reciting to yourself, I am in the receptive mode. I am ready to receive. I relax in the receptive mode. Begin to notice how those words make you feel. Softening deeper and deeper into this meditation. And then allowing yourself to visualize the oxygen flowing in and out of your body with this breath. And on your next inhale, inhaling for 5 seconds. Holding the breath. and allowing your bathroom muscles, your root or your lower chakras to activate almost as if you're drawing in and up, holding the pelvic floor muscles. And then gently relax and exhale for 5 seconds. Once again, inhaling for 5 seconds. Holding for 5 seconds. Exhale for 5 seconds. Cycling through this breath just like that. 2 more breath cycles. Drawing in oxygen and letting go CO2. And as you continue with this breathing exercise, begin to concentrate and focus on clearing your mind and your body of all tensions. Doing your best to relax as much as possible. Softening deeper and deeper into this meditation, breath by breath. If your mind gets off track, don't worry or judge, just gently bring it back to your breath. What we're doing right now is we're exiting the outer realm and we're bringing ourselves in. We're going to begin to unite with your 5 inner realms. So continuing to move through this exercise. And on your next inhale, just gently allow your body to breathe as it chooses. Now it's time to activate. So this time, as you breathe in for 5 seconds, imagine plus signs, positive signs, moving into your body. Positive oxygen, positive energy. Visualizing these plus signs moving in, holding at the top. And as you exhale, imagining minus signs leaving your body. Negative oxygen, negative energy, and the negative symbol. This time, inhaling again, positive signs, positive energy, positive oxygen. Hold at the top. And this time, as you exhale, the minus signs, the negative signs, exhale from the mouth. Cycling through this breath now at your own pace, allowing the visualization of the positive signs to get clearer and clearer and clearer. Notice their size, their color, quantity. And as you exhale, notice the minus signs, the negative symbols, quantity, size, color. Breath by breath, with every inhale, drawing them in, holding at the top. And with every exhale, letting them go. staying as relaxed and soft as possible. Further pulling away from the outer reality and diving deeper into the inner workings of your 5 realms. After your exhale, just allow your body to breathe as it desires. Notice the ease in which your body knows exactly how much to take in and how much to let go of. In perfect harmony, in perfect balance, at ease. Keeping your eyes closed. Beginning the exercise once more, inhaling through your nose for 5 seconds. Again, visualizing positive oxygen, positive energy, and positive symbols moving in through your nose, entering your forehead, and between the eyebrows and your third eye. Holding at the top of the inhale for 5 seconds. And as you exhale, exhale from your mouth. And imagine negative oxygen, negative energy, and the negative symbols leaving your mouth as you exhale. And again, as you inhale, visualizing the positive oxygen, positive energy, positive symbols entering your forehead, between your eyebrows, entering your third eye, your pineal gland, holding at the top. And exhaling, visualizing negative oxygen, negative energy, and minus signs as you exhale from your mouth. This time, moving through this meditation, being consciously aware of your breath and the positive signs and the negative signs moving in and out of your body through the forehead. Feeling yourself relax deeper into this meditation. Noticing your focus. On your next exhale, just allow your body to breathe. Now beginning to inhale for 5 seconds into the heart center, noticing that you're bringing in positive oxygen, positive energy, and positive plus signs into your heart center. Holding at the top of the inhale for 5 seconds. Exhale through your mouth. And as you do, Visualize negative oxygen, negative energy, and negative symbols moving out of your body from your mouth. Once again, as you inhale, drawing that positivity into the heart center. Holding at the top. And exhaling negative symbols out from the mouth. Continuing to cycle through this exercise. Keeping your awareness and your consciousness on the sound of my voice. Softening deeper and deeper into this meditation. Clearing your mind, clearing your body, and allowing yourself to connect to your being. At the end of your next exhale, just allow your body to breathe. Giving your mind, your body, and your heart breathing room, space. And maybe even imagine yourself as if you were in space, floating without gravity, slowly, light. This time we're going to inhale through your nose for 5 seconds and visualizing that positive oxygen, that positive energy, those positive plus signs entering both your forehead, between the eyes, and your heart at the same time. Holding at the top for 5 seconds. And as you exhale, exhale from your mouth, again, visualizing negative oxygen, negative energy, and negative signs leaving your mouth as you exhale. Once again, drawing that breath in to the third eye, to the heart simultaneously. Hold. And let it go. Next time that you exhale, once again, just allow your body to breathe. Continuing to listen to the sound of my voice. Continuing to soften your body. Melting deeper and deeper into this present moment and all that is within it. Sounds, smells. I now want you to begin to visualize a person, place, or thing that you are incredibly grateful for. Beginning to feel into that gratitude. Noticing how the ability to just visualize this person, place, or thing that you are so bubble up this emotion of gratitude. Keeping your eyes closed, look upward towards your third eye, continuing to breathe normally, and visualize the word gratitude. This is a powerful feeling emotion, associating thought imagery of something you are incredibly grateful for. Call those feelings that come up and feel them fully as you visualize. Keeping your eyes closed, just soften the eyes and just allow them to be relaxed, no longer gazing upward, and soften. Allow your body to breathe. Begin to notice the present moment and how there may be a pause within your emotions and the vastness of this presence. Now I'd like for you to visualize a person, place, or thing that brings you incredible joy, deep, guttural joy. And begin to feel the joy that is connected to this person, place, or thing. Feel them entirely. Notice how it radiates outside of your body. There may even be a natural smile on your lips. Keeping your eyes closed, look upward with your normal breathing and visualize the word joy. Feel those feelings associated with joy in your visualization fully. And knowing that whenever you desire to come back to this joy, all you have to do is remember this moment. Relax the eyes. Release the exercise and just be. Notice the pause energetically. Now visualize a person, place, or thing that brings you incredible love. Feel this feeling of love within you, permeating every cell, part of your body, and expanding outside of your body into this world. Feel it entirely. Keeping your eyes closed, look upward, breathing normally, and visualize the word love. chooses. Visualize and feel one by one the images of gratitude, joy, then love as three separate feelings. So you can imagine almost three separate bubbles, and allowing yourself to visualize gratitude, joy, and love in these bubbles as three separate emotions. Continue to visualize while blending the individual feelings of gratitude, joy, then love together as one. Take your time, allowing them all to merge into one. Charging this conscious awareness with gratitude, love, and joy. Using your imagination to create one combined primary feeling that collectively embraces gratitude, joy, and love. Smile while you do this and enjoy the sensation from head to toe. The excitement, the bliss, all at once as one powerful force. Mentally take a snapshot of this feeling to come back to when needed. Continuing to allow this feeling to permeate your body. Combining gratitude, joy, and love, again, feeling them immensely, allowing them to penetrate your body. Now I want you to choose the top priority that you desire to manifest as a miracle in your life. Know what you want. See it, feel it, believe it. Know it is already in your 3D life. All the pieces are coming together. Remembering to only choose one. Keep your eyes closed and look upward. Visualize your name 2.0 as you look upwards with your eyes closed, breathing normally. Allowing every detail to be as clear as possible as you visualize. And know that within time, this gets easier and easier and more refined, more tangible. And as you bring this desire to the forefront, infuse this imagery with gratitude, then love, then joy. And as the combination of all three, use your imagination to blend the combined primary feeling with your personal access code, which is your first name 2.0. And that one item that is your manifestation miracle objective. Bring it into your reality. It is done. so it is, and so it is. These techniques will help you add to the see it, feel it components that help you believe it. This will help you attract, export, shift, and reconfigure to manifest your wants and your goals and your dreams and your intentions. Know that what you desire is already a part of your life. The marriage of clear intention with aligned thought imagery blended with heartfelt feeling and emotion, truly believing it is already achieved, feeling the emotions of it already coming into fruition within this absolute moment in total conscious awareness. Gently release the exercise and allow your body to breathe. Continue with your eyes closed and allowing your body, your mind, and your spirit to make space as it chooses. It is now time to activate the 4 quantum pillars of manifestation to attract, export, shift, and reconfigure. I want you to imagine yourself standing at the helm of your control center. Your operating system is pure consciousness. You are sending and receiving the 2.0 version, electromagnetically charged, to attract your manifestation objective. Visualize yourself at the control center, viewing yourself in 3D, then switching positions to 3D, then back to 5D. As you visualize, see, feel, and believe 2.0 energy. Your personal access code is already in your 3D life. You are now receiving or attracting in your life. You attract from within your present 3D reality opportunities, ideas, people, places, and things, conditions, circumstances, all the above. You then take action to manifest the objective, a new present 3D reality, a new life, the new 2.0 you. You as the intelligence and consciousness located outside the simulation is controlling the programs within your simulation. Continue with your eyes closed Applying your vivid imagination, see yourself standing at the helm of your control center. The operating system is pure conscious awareness. You are ready to change the trajectory of your 3D reality by rewriting the program, rewriting the script, rewriting the movie, rewriting the characters, and rewriting the outcome of your reality. Insert your new access code, your first name 2.0. And export back into your present 3D. Again, switching between 3D and 5D. As you switch between 3D and 5D, visualize, see, feel, and believe the 2.0 energy is already in your life. Keeping your eyes closed, see yourself once again standing at the helm of the control center. You're changing the trajectory of your 3D reality as you shift to higher level parallel dimensional realities. Looking out into the infinite parallel realities and possibilities. With every decision, every outcome you can experience. Imagine that personal access code and identify with the new 2.0 world of your reality. Visualize this 2.0 world in the horizon. First, begin to locate it, then shift to that specific high-level world. Imagine that you are now entangled with this world. Visualize yourself at the center, viewing your new world, then switching positions to the new world, then back. As you visualize, see, feel, and believe this 2.0 energy. Continuing with your eyes closed. See yourself present from the future and the past, from the present, which in turn modifies the present reality. Imagine there are 3 rows, row 1, row 2, and row 3. In row 1, you position side by side 3 screens of the past, present, and future, existing simultaneously together. The past is 0, the present is 1, and then set your future screen as your personal access code. And your desired outcome. Then in row 2, copy the future screen to the present screen. So the present and the future match as your personal access code and your desired outcome. Then in row 3, copy the present screen to the past screen. Now the past and future screens are all aligned in the present moment as the 2.0 version of you and the 2.0 version of outcomes. As you visualize, see, feel, and believe this 2.0 energy is already in your 3D reality. The future changes the present, and the present changes the past. Through reconfiguration. We're in the last step now of integration. You will now begin to integrate each of the 4 quantum pillars of manifestation together as one powerful force through repetition and visualization. Continue with your eyes closed. See yourself standing at the helm of the control center and operating system as pure conscious awareness. Recall each technique one by one. Attract, export, shift, reconfigure. Visualize each screen in detail one by one. Use your personal access code to affirm to yourself as you visualize each separate screen. I now attract my 2.0 life. I now export my 2.0 life. I now shift my 2.0 life. I now reconfigure my 2.0 life. Moving through this 4 times slowly, imagining each of the 4 screens, 1 for attract, 1 for export, 1 for reconfigure, 1 for shift. I now attract my 2.0 life. I now export my 2.0 life. I now shift my 2.0 life. I now reconfigure my 2.0 life. Once you've cycled through four times, allow your body, your mind, and your heart to just breathe. Reminding yourself to see, feel, and believe this 2.0 energy. Knowing what you want to see, knowing what you want, knowing what you want to feel, and believing it is already done. Continuing to just allow your body to breathe and being present within this moment with all that you are. Knowing that you are in partnership, co-creating and a co-participant in the universe. The advanced structure of the vortex, the field, infinite intelligence, gifts you the ability to manifest your own reality. The good, the bad, and the indifferent. Once you truly understand and accept this, you will accelerate forward, manifesting the 3D life you truly desire. You do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. What you vibrate into the vortex. What you vibrate into the field. You are the trajectory power and the momentum behind everything that ultimately happens to you in both the inner realm and the outer realm. reflecting your vibrational frequencies that you transmit into the field. You must change in order for your energy to change, for your vibrational frequency to change, and for your 3D reality to change. When you're ready, just allowing your body to slowly come back to this moment, into this collective, by just gently breathing deeply in and out of the body. Maybe bringing in tiny little movements, maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes, rolling out the ankles and the wrists. And when you're ready, just gently opening your eyes. Allowing yourself to still be calm, but aware, relaxed and peaceful as you listen to these next couple parts. So as we were going through, you had your personal access code, which is your first name, 2.0. Now, when I originally did this, I did the first letter and 100. Go with what resonates most with you. In the moment when I was doing the meditation, I don't know, 2.0 just for me energetically means the next level up. So that's why I geared towards that. Now the biggest part, and I chose to do this a little backwards because sometimes we think we are number one when we're conscious. The one thing that we really want isn't always the one thing that we really want when we're centered. So when I did the meditation and I had you choose one thing that you desire to manifest, that's truly in that moment of presence, your number one that you want to create and you want to bring into your life. Now, there is a second layer to this where you are going to be writing down in different categories the things that you desire. And this is your homework to do. We're not going to do it together because it would take up too much time. But you are going to choose 4 different categories, things that you need as soon as possible. So this could be money to pay a bill, car payment money. Maybe you have tax people after you that you have to pay the taxes, car insurance, a friend needs help, whatever the case may be, your ASAP items that you need right now. Then you're going to create another category that is you want now or later. So these are things that you're indifferent about. Like I could have a BMW now, or I could have it later, So things that are kind of in your conscious awareness of desires, but it's not like imminent. Okay. And then belief systems. So this could be self-confidence, self-worth, trusting yourself. This is going to be where you also put paradigms, right? So the paradigm shifts that you want to experience. And then the last category is going to be your feelings and emotions. And write down, we went through gratitude, joy, and love. Okay, but you might want to emanate other emotions. So you're going to write down all the emotions that you want to feel. And you are going to infuse your meditations with that. Just as we did, but using your personal, I did general ones because everybody wants gratitude, everyone wants joy, everyone wants love, right? But there might be other specifics that you want to begin to cultivate, okay? So another, couple things too, I know Miss Jazzy's a writer over here. So you could have X, Y, and Z, you could be X, Y, and Z, and you could do X, Y, and Z when we're looking at the want now or later. So this could be, getting your 500-hour yoga teacher training. This could be, doing, trunk shows for your business and for your products. So that is what you want in the now or later category. Okay. And then at the very top, you're going to put your personal access code number. Now, again, I used 2.0 when I originally typed this up. S100 came through, but do what works for you. But you want to create a digital virtual connection because it separates you so you can see yourself from a different vantage point. Okay. And then you would carry out that meditation in accordance with your list as you go through your list and begin to be dedicated to this. So this dedication can look like, it can be really time consuming in the beginning, and it was for me, but soon you'll be able to see the word joy and have that joy and that feeling almost instantaneously, right? So what you're working with doing is being able to consciously manifest miracles into your reality by exercising your muscles on how quickly you can bring those emotions in and visualize your desires. And over time, like for me now, doing all of this takes me about 15-20 minutes in the morning, 15-20 minutes in the evening, because as you exercise, it gets easier to not only drop into the present moment, but it gets easier to cultivate those energies and those emotions, and you already know what you desire, right? So it seems very long, but it can typically only take a couple moments. So as you grow and as you build and as you expand, this will get 10 times easier. All right. Now, this is just an example of the list. So this is the S.0, all of these different feelings, all of these different things. And you have to also remember to include your outer desires, your inner desires, your emotions, and think expansively. Don't think with the limitations of your mind, right? Doubt your doubts. It's my favorite quote these days. Doubt your doubts. So if you want this, that's what you desire. Don't tell yourself before it ends up coming into fruition in some magical way that it's not possible, because then you're already creating resistance towards the opportunity of that coming your way. Okay. So only what you desire. So I say this because I came from a very Christian background, and my mother was very like, you got to do this and you got to do that. So make sure that when you are asking and bringing forth the desires, that they're yours, that they're not somebody else's for you, right? You got to feel into that passion, to that sense of purpose within each desire. All right. Oops. So this is, again, the 4 categories. So you need ASAP, beliefs and paradigms. These are, again, some examples: desires now or later, and strong emotions. Okay. Now, what we are listening to and what we listen to is theta vibrational frequencies. I created a slide for the one that we listened to in the meditation that we're currently listening to now, because I loved it. It had the stars on there and it incorporates the theta brainwave. So just like your heart has a beat, and we were discussing how it can be very expansive, your brain has a heartbeat and it sends out these pulsations, and they have different names. So this is the beta frequency. So this is your analytical mind. This is typically your wake state. And when you have like that outer focus and it's like really active and jagged. The alpha state, okay, is typically connected to intuition. So you're very relaxed, you're not like dreamy, but you're just relaxed and you're centered a little bit, and you're more inner focused. You're it's almost the way that I can explain it, and I'm sure that you have done yoga. When you close your eyes in a yoga class, it brings your awareness inward. It's that feeling. Then there's theta, which is what we're listening to, which is your intuitive and asleep inner focus. So this is fully intuition, and you're in that sleep wake little happening space. That is the most potent time to do this type of a meditation. Okay. And there are binaural beats that can activate this theta brainwave. But again, right when you wake and right before you go to sleep, this theta activation brainwave is there. So use it to your advantage every morning and every evening. Even if one morning you have 5 minutes, another morning you have 30 minutes, one evening you're so exhausted you have 5 minutes, one evening you're a little bit more awake and you can't really go straight to sleep, use that extra time. Okay. And then delta is you're asleep, inner focus. Okay. So this is what I like to call the G spot. Okay. This is where the orgasms of life happen, right here in the theta. All right. So being able to drop into this as much as you can. And now, recently, what I've been doing and incorporating is I know that I'm in this theta after a yoga practice. And I don't always have time with 2 kids and 3 dogs and a business to meditate as long as I want. So I do my morning and I do my evening. And then whenever I take a yoga class, I activate this. Okay. So that is how I've found time to do this. But you can, depending on your lifestyle, can begin to incorporate this however you choose. Maybe it's just the mornings, maybe it's just the evenings to start with, and then you build and you grow. All right, and that was our little meditation. This is the link, okay? So you could click this and it'll bring you to what we're listening to now. All right, so here's some supplemental content that has really enriched my way of manifesting miracles. And again, it goes without saying, and I've mentioned this and I'm going to beat a dead horse, subconscious work, okay? But this is also a great way to gain a different perspective. All of them are on audio. Think and Grow Rich by, oops, I forgot the Y, by Napoleon Hill. It can be a little long and drawn out, but there's a lot of really powerful nuggets. It was written back in the day, so the jargon's a little off from our day-to-day, but you can still grasp the concepts. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. Now, you're looking at this and you're like, oh, this is all about money. It's not about money. So we associate money with dollar signs, but money is wealth. Money is abundance in all areas of our life, okay? We've just correlated and associated the word rich, money, wealth, and abundance with the dollar sign, right? And that is a part of it, but there's a bigger part of it. And these 2 books give you insight and different perspectives on feeling that richness within your being, feeling that abundance, feeling all of these feelings that we all ultimately want to feel. Okay, so it goes beyond just the energetics of money. Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Wayne Dyer, and The Power of Intention by Wayne Dyer. These are really powerful books. They are all on audio. And I highly suggest that you supplement what you're inputting in your environments with this meditation. So what I mean is be conscious. Like I listen to Lakshmi mantras during the day, sometimes in my car, or when I'm playing with my son, I play mantra music. How are you? And that is actually, by the way, that is subconscious work. Why? Because your subconscious mind is actually listening to the mantras. I remember one day I did it and I woke up singing the Lakshmi mantra. And I was like, damn, my subconscious mind was listening. Even though I wasn't chanting, it was listening. Why? Because I was consciously distracted by playing with my son. But because that music was going on in the background, it was penetrating my subconscious mind. See? So think about what you do on the day to day that's like that. If you have to clean, how can you clean and infuse your subconscious mind with that positivity, right? If you have to work on the computer all the time, I do this all the time when I create these modules and all this stuff for you. I play binaural beats in the background, I play mantra music in the background, and I begin to infuse the environment that I'm in any possible way with the frequencies that I want to elevate myself to all the time or every time that I can. Okay. Be conscious of the way that you talk to yourself, right? It goes without saying, but I'm just going to say it. Be conscious of your thoughts, get ahead of the thoughts. Okay. And enrich your environment the vibrational frequencies that you desire to possess and connect to. Again, and like I gave you that example, money. I went to these really fancy, stores, and I just walked around and I tried on these fancy clothes. At the time, I knew, I was like, I want to feel what it feels like. I can't buy it right now, right? But I know that I will, right? And that's where I get into it. And then when you do that, and you get really good at doing these types of meditations, you're going to go to that store. You're going to put on that clothes. You're going to think that thought. You're going to feel that feeling, and you're going to physically be there. And it's going to happen that much quicker for you, right? See it, feel it, taste it, smell it, all of it. Okay. All right. So you can unmute yourselves if you have any questions. We can go through them. And yeah, tell me, is it a different concept for you, different perspective, different way of thinking and using this? And we can kind of discuss for a little bit here. Jazzy, you can go first since we went in that order of coming in last time.
Okay.
So you know what? Let me pause this music. I love it so much, but it's not going to give me the opportunity to hear you off. So 1 second. Okie dokes.
I guess my question more is more of like a technical question.
Sure.
So you're saying for us to use the new method that you just showed us, the list part, because I'm a list person. So are you saying for me to do one list in the morning and one in the evening, or are you saying to incorporate one as a whole? I'm a little confused on that.
Okay, sorry. So
No.
the reason why I did the list portion last is because it's very time consuming and you get super heady instead of feeling what your body wants to manifest and create. The purpose of the list is to give you an idea of the things that you want immediately, the things that you could have right now or later, the belief systems, the feelings, the paradigms, all of these different things that you want to create in your life. And it gives you an opportunity to refine, right? So kind of you can over time think about different things and infuse them with those different emotions, but the lists are just a way of you writing down your desires, right? Because when we write, our mind, our body, and our spirit are in alignment, so it's more potent and it's more powerful and it's more energetically charged, and it helps you refine your top priorities, right? The ASAPs with the other priorities. And you can choose, like, let's say you have this list and you can continue to add to it, take away from it as you go along. Let's say in the morning you have 15 minutes and you already, you could do the meditation without listening to the recording anymore. And you want to work on something that you need as soon as possible. You want to work on something that you can, have now or later. And you want to work on self-confidence, self-worth, and the feeling of being loved. You could do all of those in one meditation if you choose, but the lists themselves are just an opportunity for you to write it down and to see what you desire, and also to give you a way of prioritizing your desires.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. That's it?
That's it for me.
Okay, Lisa?
I'm a little blissed out, sorry.
I know, I was worried about that.
No, that was beautiful, Shelley. Thank you. I love that. I'll definitely come back to this, but it's like, so, I watched the Rewired with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and, I'm a follower of Gabby Bernstein, and the manifesting, I mean, it's like crazy how everything's like, it's connecting to the feeling that is the most potent part of the meditation.
Yes.
And, you know, a little side note story, as we're like going through this whole thing, I'm sitting here going, like a light bulb went off and I was like, I just freaking manifested that. Like I've been really thinking about how I miss having a group class, right? Because COVID, I teach privately and online. And it's so funny because lately I've been immersed in how I felt in a studio, right? Literally just marinating in all of those feelings, the smells, the connection, the conversation, right? And then just last week, out of nowhere, a studio called me about possibly teaching a class. And I was like, "Oh, I just freaking manifested that." You know what I mean? Because I was just so marinating in the feeling of what it brought.
It's
The
like
joy,
the feeling,
the joy, the pure, you know?
yeah, the feeling
And
coupled with the experience.
yes. And then on the other hand, I realize what's blocking a lot of what it, because I want to escape corporate America, girls. Like my passion is teaching yoga, and I have a skincare license, and I have this vision of, believe it or not, bringing them together somehow. And I realize what blocks me is the fear, which I've been doing a lot of subconscious work with Andy and with Psych K and stuff. How fear, you know, that little voice in the back of your head, you can't really do that, you know, how are you going to pay your bills? Like when you said that, I'm like, that's so me. I'm like, I can't quit my job. How the hell am I going to pay my freaking bills? Like I can't do it. But there it is, right? Like that's the blockage. But as I work through it, you know, the light bulbs are going off like, okay, you know what? Yeah, my supply, and this is a mantra that Florence Scovel Shinn, she's an author. She had this mantra that says, my supply is infinite, inexhaustible, and immediate, and comes to me under grace in perfect ways. So I've
love that.
I've been saying that, you know, like my supply is infinite, inexhaustible, immediate, and comes to me under grace in perfect ways. So, right. I've just been trying to, you know, and it's a process, like you said, and I'm just grateful for this. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Welcome.
And it's totally works. Totally.
Oh, yeah, it does.
It totally works. Yeah.
That's awesome. Miss Brittany?
So yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off of Lisa. I was blissed out.
I know. I wasn't sure to bring y'all back, but I was like, it's gotta happen somehow.
Yeah. So I was following you, but I don't remember every word that you said. You know, when Lisa was just like, oh, you were mentioning this and that. I don't remember that. I can't even recall, but I remember seeing a visual of the 4 big screens, and I was actually in a movie theater by myself sitting in the back. There was 4 screens in front of me, and then when you would tell me to like bounce back from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and the screens were just like staticky, like for me, and like I can't remember actually putting any images on the screen, so I'm a little worried about that.
Don't worry, that'll be that. Like I said, from the beginning, this is a muscle, right?
Yeah.
And this is a muscle like you haven't tapped into it like this.
Yeah.
You haven't been taught to make these connections and to make this recipe in this fashion ever.
Mm-hmm.
So your pictures might not be completely clear yet. They might be black and white. They may not have any pictures yet, right? But with practice and over time, you strengthen this muscle that it becomes refined. And that's when you begin to see and feel the manifestations. If you're not seeing what you want in your life, it's because there is a trip in the circuit. There's a disconnect, and that wire, like your neurons, like they say that your neurons create new connections. So you have to create a new connection, and you have to create a new pathway for that to flow and for that to come into fruition. So nothing that unfolded for you, whether it be clear, unclear, you didn't know, that is okay. That is a part of this process. When I first did this, I remember when it said something about the past was a black screen and it had like a shadow. I didn't even know what the shadow, it was a black screen, but I knew the present and I knew what I wanted for the future, right? And it took me, and we went through this kind of fast, right? And then once you have like it all refined, it goes quicker, but it took me, I would say maybe 15 minutes to energetically put the same image in the past. It took me a while to create that because I was resistant. The past was really hard to change on that screen. So don't worry about that. That's the part that you're working through to make everything unfold for you.
Yeah, another thing is I felt like I was very deep into theta, and like I was able to wake up when you prompted us to open our eyes and wake up, but I felt like maybe I was just comfortable and tired at that moment. So I was, that's why I can't really remember like everything that you said. But my question,
your unconscious mind is still listening though.
Yeah. But what if I went into Delta? Would I still be listening?
Yeah, you would still, your subconscious mind is still listening. Here's a really fun fact, and I know this because I'm a nurse. I heard that somebody went under anesthesia and the doctors were talking really negatively about the outcome. Like when the person first went in, didn't give you the backstory. When the person first went in, they had to have a surgery done. They were very optimistic. They were very excited about the procedure and everything. They had the procedure. The doctors were negatively talking about the prognosis of the surgery. The person later came out of the surgery and had really negative thought processes, deep depression, all of this stuff. They ended up getting a hypnotherapist to come in. They hypnotized the person, and the person literally verbatim said what the physicians said. And apparently, I don't know how true this is, they asked the physicians, and the physicians said that they did talk about the negative prognosis. That part, I don't know how much is true, but I do know the other parts are true. So it's very interesting to think about this, but there is a part of you that is always conscious and active and listening, always. And it's not just actively listening to the words themselves, but the vibrations that they bring. Okay. Oh. So when you hear the word death, what is that like? How does that feel in comparison to love, relax, right? So that is why being aware of your environment in all ways is important, because you are always listening, even though you're not thinking you're listening. So if you have shit music on talking about kill, Prozac, what do they say? Percocet, what all this other shit, right? Yeah. That's like playing on in the background, like you're still listening. It's still affecting you.
Yeah, I agree. And I do want to the fact that a lot of musicians are aware that when they're recording music, they have to stay within a frequency for the radio, and so low vibration.
Yep, absolutely.
So, and they have, like, musicians have said this. There's like vibrations that they have to stick to because they don't want to have a high vibration in society.
Nope, they got rid of that back in like the 50s and 60s. I wasn't going to go conspiracy theory, but that is very, very true, because I am totally all about that stuff. It
makes a lot of sense. And like we talk about radio frequency, and we're energy and we're vibration. And then the music too, like, is a lot of the music out there is like so depressed. It talks about drugs and things, and there's hidden messages and all that stuff. But I did have another question about the hypnosis. Oh, my question was, I don't know how helpful this has been helping me, but lately when I see a TikTok or an Instagram post of someone doing something that I want to do, let's say they're in Arizona hiking, or they're, paddle boarding, or they're in Bali, I kind of just watch the TikTok and envision like I'm them filming and like seeing it through their eyes. And I kind of embody the emotion of, I'll be there one day. Like that's going to happen for me. Like I really want to be in Italy at Lake Como. Like that's something I want to do. Is that a strong manifesting tool?
It is, as long as you're able to also infuse your emotion with it. So just saying, like I said, like if you see something and you're just like, I'm going to be there one day, I'm going to go there one day, that's great. But like when you say that, I'm going to be there one day, I'm going to go there one day, are you feeling it too? Are you simultaneously envisioning it? Now,
Okay.
I'm like, I want that car. I'm manifesting that car. I'm getting closer because I actually sat in the car that I'm trying to manifest this weekend. I haven't driven one yet, but I sat in one and it was in my current reality, very, very close to me. Okay. So I'm getting closer to that. And then that is your way of inching closer, but you do have to feel it, see it, touch it, taste it, experience it. It's one thing to just say, I want that. And it's another thing to be like, I see myself in that. I feel what I'm going to feel like being there, doing that. And it doesn't need to take long. It could be, a couple seconds of manifesting, right? It's just frequency. It's like the way that I said it earlier, that intent, right? And that potent little thing is throwing a rock into that lake that's making pulsations out into the universe to create your desires. It's making ripple effects, right? As long as that stone is charged fully, it's going to make an effect and it's going to make a ripple. And follow through too. Follow through. Research the different places in Italy that you want to go to. Where would you stay? Make it real. Make it real.
Yeah. Another thing I always think about is like the virtual reality, like goggle things. Like maybe I should get those and like see if I can get like some kind of gaming that shows you different places in the world or something and like kind of live through that. I don't know.
You could. I don't know how much that would be. I would imagine it's probably more potent. Your body will definitely have an experience with the VR. Yeah. But I think it's more potent when it takes you the time to actually visualize it yourself instead of it being done for you.
Yeah. Okay. I got that. Okay. Then that helps with my questions about manifesting. Because I guess I was trying to find little cheat codes instead of actually sitting there and doing a meditation and breathing, because that's actually a little difficult for me to like sit there, do the deep breathing, holding my breath, and then actually listening to the guided meditation.
Yeah. Well, however, like this is the way that I guided you to find your center, but however you find your center is the meditation. The meditation is ultimately to bring you to your center and then activate those different parts that we touched upon in the PowerPoint. So you can take what you're hearing here and curate your own, right? But it does need to come from you. It can't come from, oh, somebody made this picture and I'm going to stare at it, right? That's why the vision boards, they are powerful tools to put in your awareness what you desire and are great. But unless you infuse them with a charged, activated emotion and action, it's not going to come into fruition because it's not real within your subconscious mind. It's still on there, over there. You get what I'm saying? Whereas when you visualize it, when you create your vision board in your inner eye vision, it's within you. It's not over there somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I have to create that movie of me in my head, feeling those feelings, doing those actions.
Yep. And pick one thing for right now until you've pick one thing in the morning, in the evening. Once you perfect that one thing, pick something else, right? And then you could do the two.
Okay, I appreciate that. When you say you want to cultivate and manifest self-love or self-confidence, what does that movie look like inside someone's head?
That's you.
I know. So it's
So
just like
that's your time with self that you have to carve out that vision. What do you like when you see somebody who's confident? What do you see when you see
I
somebody
see like a muscular person,
okay,
like a muscular, like athletic type of body.
right? But like go through the motions of like, okay, like when somebody who has self-confidence has this, and this. How can I embody those characteristics?
Okay.
And going through each one.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think that's what I was missing.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Miss Mari, let's do this.
Okay, I have so much going on in my head and I wanted to say so much, but I feel like my mind is faster than my speech. So I was trying to write it down here, things that I wanted to share with the group. First of all, when we were doing this, I was like, oh my gosh, I manifested this group. Like I can't really talk to anyone. Oops, now my family is arriving here.
Okay, we're almost done.
Wait, let me go somewhere.
Okay.
I still want to share it.
Okay.
I'm on a call, I'll be right back.
She's like running away.
I know.
So anyways, oh, now I don't have my notes.
That's okay.
It's okay. So first
Yeah.
of all, I have been reading tons of books on this topic. And one thing that I read recently and has helped me a lot last week, I had a big shift in my life, is change fear to faith. So that's when I decided to let my job go. And I have other things in mind already. I already had it, but I was like, when am I gonna feel this? It's time to go. And when am I gonna trust? Like Shelley always said, right? There is income everywhere. It's not just from that source. And then one of the books that I was reading, it says, when you have that fear, you just change your mind to say, I have it, I have it. So as soon as you're starting to get worried, you say, I have it. And it's the same thing with confidence. I think we all lack some confidence at one point. But when I'm taking a shower or looking in the mirror, I was talking to myself and hugging myself and saying, you are capable, you're smart, you can do it. And it's hard, but little by little, like Shelley was saying, it's a muscle. Little by little, you will start believing that.
Yes.
And I am believing that now. And I can already see myself sharing with everybody my change. I'm almost there and I know I will get there. And I'm so thankful for you guys. And I wish we had more time than just once a month together, because this is how we're going to grow together. And the beginning in January, I said, this is gonna be my year. Every month I'm doing something different to myself. I'm writing this down, what I want to do. It's huge steps, huge investments in myself. I never really got it, the word, oh, it's an investment for yourself. I'm like, what's the investment? It's just a word for them to get our money, but no, it's really not. It is an investment.
It is an investment.
And now I feel that. And I'm reading a book now, my latest one, when Shelley was saying about the secret that they don't talk about, the details. And I didn't even know that the author had other books in that same topic. I'm reading now The Magic. It's from the same author as, I don't know if you guys have read it. It's a 20-day exercise and it talks about gratitude. So there's a lot, it's a lot of work that you do morning and evening. But I really recommend you all reading that book. It's life-changing also. And before I do my vision board, I also do the gratitude board of the previous year. I think that's also very big and important for us to be grateful before we're asking for something else. So these are my few things that I wanted to share with you. And we are all in this together. So don't be afraid of thinking that you're behind or we're, yeah.
Yes, I love that. Yeah. And we can continue this conversation in the Voxer chat too. And as things come up or questions come up, this can continue. It doesn't need to end here. But something that I want to piggyback with Marianne is looking at yourself in the mirror and like putting your hands on your body and saying, I love myself. I like myself. I love myself. I like myself. And this will do worlds of difference in every part of your life. It's not just your self-confidence, but that self-confidence trickles into your ability to manifest, your ability to find the right partner, your ability to create something, your confidence in stepping forward and being in the limelight in some way, shape, or form. And there's power in using the mirror. There's a practice that's called mirror work. And I highly suggest it for anybody that's actually trying to work on self-growth, self-confidence, self-love, self-trust. It is a powerful practice. And it is something that you will begin to see if done consistently, because it is a muscle. Like you can't do one thing. It's going to be uncomfortable. Think of anything that you've started that for the first time, anything. It's weird, right? It's different. It's uncomfortable. But with anything, with practice, it gets easier and easier and easier. So mirror work and definitely talking to yourself and saying, I like myself, I love myself is a huge, huge and easy thing to do. How many times do you look at yourself in the mirror? Usually you look at yourself in the mirror like, oh, I gotta tweeze this hair. Oh, I got a mustache. Oh, I got this wrinkles, right? No. I love myself. I like myself. I love myself and I like myself. Get ahead of the thought. You know what I mean?
I also want to share something that I have been doing is, I'm sure you all have heard about, forgot the guy's name. It's a Japanese guy that he took some photos of frozen water.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I don't know if you guys have done it, but I started doing a message in my water bottle.
Yeah, I always talk to my water. I'm like, love, 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 love.
Yeah. I
always talk to my water. Infuse that.
Right. And you can say, I am healthy, I'm fit, I am capable, and it takes 7 minutes for the water to get that message, and then you drink it and just leave it there. Keep drinking, every few weeks you change the message too.
Yep, that's powerful. My son actually did a science experiment on that for school, and he looked at the water underneath the microscope of like negative words and positive words. It was really fascinating. But it does help. I do it to my plants too. My husband's like, what are you doing? I'm like, watering my plants.
I just started doing to my plants too. So I have a bottle now with water for my plants, with a message. The plant that is not surviving. So I have a message for my plant now.
I love it. Beautiful.
So cool. Any other tidbits before we close?
No, thank you, Shelly.
You're so welcome. I am so grateful that you are all a part of this clan. It wouldn't be the same without you. And again, we could take this deeper if you want support from one another. Obviously, bring it in Voxer. The questions that you have, you know, some of you messaged me personally. These are questions too that other people might have. So feel free to like throw those questions there and get that community response. And we can potentially look into it. Let's do the once a month thing a little bit. And then if that, you know, feels good, then we can build a little bit more. But yeah, I'm so grateful for what's being created right now in the foregrounds of this. And I love you all so, so very much.
Thank you. So nice to meet you, girls.
Nice to meet you too.
And for those who weren't able to make it, we love you too. And who are with us in spirit. And keep an eye out for an email that's going to let you know when this is uploaded to the portal, and then you can access it whenever you'd like.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Namaste.
Namaste.